Welcome or welcome back. This is Pairs Well Knitting. I'm Jennifer and this is a knitting podcast all about knitting, yarn adventures, and travel. Thank you very much for joining me today. And today is the ultimate gift knit pattern guide for knitters to be creating everything that we would like for the loved ones and knit-worthy in our lives or for ourselves. We're also announcing my second ever knit along. There's going to be details about that, so let's bounce in. This is my second time filming. My first time was filmed all in slow-mo, so what would be a longer video was exceptionally long. This one, because I practiced already, she's going to be very efficient. Let's do it. What I'm wearing, first of all, what I'm wearing is a stunner of a pattern. I'm going to always have notes with me so I get everything perfect for you. This is the Nordstr Sweater. This was designed by Griny Ms. This is a free pattern that's featured on the Filklana website. It is just gorgeous, and I know some other people are freshly knitting it up. I've knit this up 3 years ago, and I think was almost my first color work pattern, if not one of the first. Very entry friendly, accessible knit, knit top down, has a rounded yoke with simple increases, and because you're dealing with two colors, really beautiful, has that symmetrical patterning. So again, my brain really operates well with something like this, and a very hardy turtleneck. The neckline is really high. And realizing after I've dug this out again from my winter knits, really excited to wear it, and I feel like I have to get more turtlenecks in my life. There are more details, of course, that are featured in the last gift knits episode that I did last year. I wore this sweater, so this is kind of a nod to my first gift knit episode I ever did. If you would like to check that out, plus find out some more gift knits that I highly recommend, go click there. Otherwise, we'll press on. I will share about the yarn really quickly. The yarn that I used was Barocco Ultra Alpaca. Really different for me yarn. Still has a bit of a rustic feel, but soft. I think it was a great choice and feels festive. So that's a Nordstr Sweater by Griny Ms. We're going to bounce in, and I'm going to actually start by announcing the KAL. Here's why. Because this is a potential gift knitting knit along. So excited. I've been wanting to host a knit along for quite some time, and I feel with work starting back up, I wasn't finding the appropriate amount of time. We're making time because I love this time of year for everything knitting and little knits. So we are hosting the Little Knits KAL. This is in the eye of the knitter. This can be anything that you consider a little knit that we knit up between now and the end of December. So we're going to be running our knit along just until December 31st. This can be a gift knit help making gift knitting even more fun, or it can be for yourself. You decide, because you're the boss of your knitting. This can be a slip over or vest, which I still consider as a little knit. Doesn't have the sleeves. It can be a baby knit, it can be a child knit, it can be an accessory, a little object. You decide. Anything little. With the Little Knits KAL, of course, there are prizes, and I'm thrilled to be sharing. We are going to be having 2 sets of prizes. We're going to do a beginning giveaway today with you, and I'm going to explain how that works, and then an end of the knit along prizes as well, like a whole other giveaway. So I'll start with chronological order. The pre-KAL giveaway, if you will. This is to drive our inspiration and excitement as we get into the KAL. I'm offering 2 prizes two prizes total, 1 prize each to 2 beautiful knitters in our community that are watching today. You will have your choice of one of my patterns for free that I'll share with you in the Ravelry library, or you decide how it needs to be shared, that's fine. So you will have your choice between the Favorite Fingerless Mittens or the Bellwoods Hat pattern. These are patterns that I've written up and I'm so excited to be sharing with you. So we're going to be offering 2 people their choice of pattern to get started. This could be as an inspiration to get you started into an entry for the Little Knits KAL to act as a little cast on for others or yourself. So that is the beginning of the KAL. How you're going to enter, if you wish, is you subscribe to the account, Pairs Well Knitting right here, and you comment simply which pattern you'd like to win. Is it going to be the favorite fingerless mittens or the Bellwoods hat that was just released last Friday? You decide. That's it. That's all you have to do. The giveaway will close on Friday, November 22nd, and the the 2 winners will be announced in the next episode, and then we'll get your patterns to you. That's it. Pretty simple, pretty exciting, and now we're gonna get into the hearty portion of the prizes. So I have 2 gorgeous prizes to be sharing with our knitters that participate in the knit along at the end. So this will be drawn December 31st, so it gives you a bit of time to make an entry. The prizes include, so generous of these people, one is the small envelope wallet from Lopper & Haas. I've been in contact with this beautiful Canadian maker from Alberta. She owns and operates and does absolutely everything in this leather goods company. This is somewhat, I love allowing you as a knitting community to see what I also love. I feel this is why you're here. We have a similar, perhaps aesthetic. We gravitate towards making, we gravitate towards small business and ethical businesses. And I was so loving the breadth and story of this maker. I have purchased out of my own pocket the day off bag, and I've traveled with this. Her items that she makes are just crafted so beautifully with different hand stitching. It can be contrast stitching as well. The leather is hardy. This thing is going to last me a lifetime. There's brass fixtures that are featured on all of her leather goods products. And she's Canadian. I feel I would love to meet her one day because I'm so inspired by what she makes. Side note, she's also offering workshops if you're in her area. This is Lopper & Haas, so she is kindly providing the small envelope wallet to a very lucky winner at the end of the KAL. So that is one of the prizes. The other prize, the second prize, is a $25 gift card to the Mariner's Daughter. This is a gorgeous mother and daughter team that own a knit shop in Lunenburg, Nova Scotia. I love their shop. I love Lunenburg. Every time I go in, I visit at least once. I was just there a few weekends ago, 2 weekends ago, and had just the best chat with Faye, who's the daughter. And I very nicely asked if she would be interested in participating in a prize, providing a prize for the KAL. She got right back to me and said, of course. So gorgeous yarn and all items and accessories there. So that is a $25 gift card to the Mariner's Daughter. Details to receive, or I should say to participate in this giveaway at the end will follow. I just don't want to get us confused with the two different lots of giveaways. So that will be coming up of how you can enter, but very much encouraged to cast on your little knit as soon as you wish, and we'll run until the 31st of December. Details, of course, to come for the second lot of giveaway. Thank you so much to these prize providers. I love it, and I'm so excited to be sharing this with you because these are my favorite things as well. We will get into the patterns, and I feel when I was filming the other day it was not as efficient. I think today we are just going to make a beautiful little wrap-up of all of the little knits. So of course, any of these knits can be counting towards your Little Knits KAL if you wish as an entry. We'll talk about that as I said in an upcoming episode, but this can simply act as a gift knit for a knit-worthy person in your life, loved ones, as the holidays are approaching. Literally, as we are so busy during this season of the holidays, this can allow you hopefully to still enjoy and experience knitting, but maybe not have to be committed to a very intense minds-on project or large project. You're probably on the go a lot. So these projects have very specific criteria that I've curated all on Ravelry. I'm going to share my curation rationale and criteria. So the first, of course, is knitting time with gauge. These are items, and I recognize we are halfway through November already. If you are gift knitting for somebody, we don't have a ton of time left, not to stress you out, which is why I'm sharing my curation with you, because all of the knits featured today I would consider are quite speedy knits. They're all little knits, of course. Most of the gauges are quite large, so you're going to be able to knit them up in not too much time, which is hopefully de-stressing us all. The other is inclusivity. I really wanted to share and curate patterns that I feel many or most or hopefully all recipients would really enjoy. This would be in regards to the person, their likes, their aesthetic, their gender, everything that would allow them hopefully to really enjoy what you have put all of your knitting love into. The next is yarn quantity. So again, because they are little knits, every single pattern is not a yarn guzzler. So hopefully these will either be yarns that you can easily access, or you might even have in stash or include scraps. So very efficient and leading into cost effective as well. And the last portion of criteria is ease of knitting. That most, and I think all actually, of these patterns I would consider as a fairly easy knit. I'm on the go a lot, and so I find I still do color work and cable knitting as I'm going, but it can prove to be a little more challenging with charts. So these knits are a little less intense and a little more enjoyable for just the joy of knitting and making. We are going to get into the patterns. My first section, or I should say classification of gift knits, are hats. The first option that I have today for you is they're all beautiful and they're all on my queue and I've downloaded tons of them, is the Chelsea Toque. This is a beautiful design by Kiyomi Bergen. This was designed in 2020 and I just came across this pattern this week. It is a paid for pattern and it is in what I would call a heavy gauge. She's calling for an Aran weight, but she does have samples knit up with yarn held together that include a mohair. But again, you're the boss of your knitting. You decide if you have a beautiful skein of Aran in your yarn stash, you could totally use for this. It is a pattern that features a really wide brim that she's folded up in her examples, and the beautiful body, I should say, of the hat is so gorgeous. It has, I'm assuming it would be yarn overs to create these little nice holes, and really simple, like just knit and purl stitches. So it looks really stunning, but I really believe is not going to be a challenge when you're focusing on the pattern. It's so beautiful. It comes in 3 sizes, but I think again with the hat it can really range with the ease depending on the person that you're knitting for or for yourself, just saying. So that's it, Chelsea Toque. I think you're going to be able to knit it up as quickly as you want, or simmer down and enjoy your knitting. That's a Chelsea Toque by Kiyomi Bergen. Next up on the docket of hats I have is the Wild Posy hat. If you've been here for a bit, I am such a fan of the patterns that Melody Hoffman creates. This is her Wild Posy hat. This is a take on texture work that she's had for her Wild Posy pullover. I've knit 2 of them. I adore it, and I believe I should be casting on the hat as well. I picked this not only because it's a stunner of a hat. Of course, you can use such a variety of yarn. She's calling for worsted weight. So for her sample, she's knit up the hat using 2 strands of Plutalopi unspun. It's my love of yarn. But I feel the texture work is such a pleasure, and it's very intrinsic. Is that the word? I can't think. It feels very natural when you're knitting it, and it just produces a gorgeous hat. Any person that receives this hat or yourself is very lucky. I think it's gorgeous. She's knitted up again in the worsted weight, so we're looking at 21 stitches. I think you can go as slow as fast, or as fast as you like on this hat. Again, it's a hat and it's in a chunky gauge. I mean, I think you're gonna sit pretty. You can probably knit multiples of these. If this is what you're after for the knit worthy. The next up in hats, I am being a little like naughty knitter, but I have to share, is the Bellwoods hat. This is the hat design that I came out with last Friday, and I have knit multiple multiple hats of the Bellwoods hat. I so enjoy it. It is a really simple beanie from the brim up to the crown that is a quick knit. It's a 16 stitch gauge count. Of course, you can always modify with yarns that you're using. Is it 1 strand of Aran? Is it multiple to meet gauge? Are you going to knit it even a little tighter maybe because you want it with less ease? All up to you. It's a pattern that comes in 4 sizes, from children's to a very large cranium that you may have in your family or a group of friends. And I feel it's a quick knit. It's fun. It's, you don't need to have full lines on because it's a really simple design. And yeah, that's it. It's a pay for pattern, so go check it out. That's a Bellwoods hat by myself. Next up we have is another brand new design by Curatorial Knits. This is by Lily. This is her absolute first pattern. I've knit this already. This is the beginner's welcome hat. I would say that this obviously is a hat knit up that anyone can do, but she really, of course, focuses on the beginner knitter. This is a very handheld, as I've mentioned in my last episode, handheld instruction with her pattern, and includes different videos if this is what you're after as well, to help hold your hand while knitting up this beautiful hat. It's a 1x1 rib from, again, the brim to the crown. Super simple, nice little designs with the decreases that happen in like a star or pie formation at the top. And again, you can knit super beautiful loose yarns that is going to look stunners as gift knits or for yourself. You can use really rustic, affordable yarns. I mean, again, sky's the limit, and you can make multiples of these for our gift knitting season. The next up, I'll say that's the beginner's welcome hat by Lily from Curatorial Knits. My last hat design that I'm featuring today in our ultimate gift guide pattern roundup is a snow beanie by Pernille Larson. She's the mother-daughter team of Knitting for Olive, and I had to include this hat because she is the cutest. This is a whole winter scene, a forest winter scene with color work, knit up into a beanie, into a hat, or what we call in Canada, toque, and it's so cute, super festive. I think anyone receiving this hat would be so lucky. I think this offers a bit of fun when knitting and on a small scale as a little knit. It looks like there are 3 colors. I wonder if when knitting, if you don't have all 3, for example, could you kind of whittle it down to 2? You probably could. I think this could be a really a great option as scrappy yarn because they have the trees there. You could do that. I mean, again, I always feel sky's the limit for any of these knits. we're looking at a 21 stitch gauge count per 10 centimeters 4 inches. So not the quickest hat pattern featured in today's roundup, but I mean, I think you're going to be able to bounce through and really enjoy your knitting as you are knitting up this design. It's a paid for pattern. That is the Snow Beanie by Pernille Larsen. We're moving on into neckwear now, and I am always stunned by, I think, the patterns that become new to me as I do these curated roundups. One of which, and I have to share this first, is a design by Amy Christoffers, who also goes by Savory Knitting. This is her Pressed Flowers Kerchief. It is a free pattern. I can't believe that I didn't know this. I only found it recently. So it's a Pressed Flowers Kerchief. This is her design of her shawl with a lot less of the pressed flowers. It is what I would even call like a bandana or a super micro shawl. It's tiny, but it's so beautiful with the floral details and the slip stitches to get the two-tone colorways going. This potentially could be different yarns that you probably have on stash if you want to be a little extra, go out and treat yourself to some new little skeins of yarn. It's a DK option that she uses for a 24 stitch gauge count, 10 centimeters 4 inches. I still can't believe that this is a free pattern. This is one I will have to use up with my leftover Pressed Flowers yarn options that I use for my pullover. I actually need to wear my pullover more. I find because there is a pattern in it, and I'm more of like a one monochrome type wearer of garments. It's not always my most comfortable knit, but the Pressed Flowers Kerchief I think is just a great option. And selfishly, I make my own things. I would make this happily for myself and perhaps for someone knit-worthy in my life. I think this would be a me knit because I adore it. It's so good. So again, that is the Pressed Flowers Kerchief by Amy Christoffers or Savory Knitting for free. The next option I have to include the Sophie Scarf by Petite Knit. I've knit up a couple of these. I've knit up a couple of the shawls, and for the receiver of this shawl, or I should say scarf, this could be anyone. The Pressed Flowers pullover, I think that's more of a person that you would know their aesthetic and like that, you know that they would be excited to wear that kind of thing as an outerwear piece. The Sophie Scarf, I think you can make as simple and as minimal as you want, and I think whoever receives this would be very happy and cozy to wear something. This takes next to no yarn in your stash and really allows you to play with different options. This can be different yarn weights as well, as long as you're weighing your ball halfway through to knit. Again, you've probably seen this a million times where you're increasing for a certain amount and then you're decreasing a certain amount. So at the halfway point, you would use half your yarn after you weigh it. I know a lot of people, and myself included, have omitted a number of the increases and knit kind of straight without increases or decreases for a while to get a certain shape. There's so many options. This has been knit so many times. Projects 21.2 thousand on Ravelry, and it's a paid for pattern. Of course, the shawl is there as well. I'm not going to mention that because that is a much longer knit and one you probably do not have time for. The next option I have is a paid for pattern. It's the Cinch Shrug by Jackie Rose. If you've been here for a bit, thank you. I ran the Holiday Shrug Club KAL last year. It was my first one ever, and I had a blast. There are 3 different options of free patterns with Jackie Rose, the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday shrug, that are basically a big tube that you can wear over your shoulders and look super cute. I've chosen this Cinch Shrug to feature today because there's a fitted design with like a little funnel mock neck in the Shrug. I feel like just having those little details of having it more fitted than the normal Shrug that she's provided for free. This is a pay for pattern. It makes all the difference. I've knit a couple of these and I think it's just lovely. I think this is a great gift knit. It's in a chunky gauge again. I say chunky because I mean it's like a chonker, but not chunky yarn. It is an Aran weight yarn option at 15 stitches per 10 centimeters or 4 inches. And yeah, it's great. I've knitted a couple times and maybe you should too. That's the Sin Shrug by Jackie Rose. The next option I have for neckwear is a free pattern. This is the Aist cowl by Claire Bourcherat. It is a beautiful design of a cowl that just comes over the head into basically like a turtleneck. Keeps us cozy, but it has a really beautiful texture. It's provided in one size. It is a free pattern, but I think the design of it, the motif, looks really simple to do. It's knits and pearls that you're doing, and it's lovely. So that is the Aist cowl, and free design by Claire Bourcherat. My next option is a paid for pattern. This is scarf number 4 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. It is a beautiful textured design that is in the form of, again, I would call it kind of a micro shawl with specific increases and decreases on either side of the scarf. She has knit this using DK weight or 22 stitches per 10 centimeters or 4 inches. And I think really could be for anyone. Again, depending on color choice, yarn choice options, you could really suit the recipient of this beautiful knit. But if you are uncertain, you can do really beautiful neutral colors, and anyone would really enjoy this scarf. It's beautiful. That's scarf number 4 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. My last option for neckwear is a free pattern. This is the Texture and Twist Shawl. This is a design by Robbie Lachlan, and this designer, along of course with this pattern, was only brought to my attention last weekend when I attended the Fiber Forge in Hamilton. I'm going to be sharing about that beautiful experience soon, but yeah, this pattern was designed with the intention of being released at the Fiber Forge in Hamilton. It's a really beautiful design of a shawl. It's a smaller shawl for sure, but you can make it as large as you want with the way the motifs work, and just offers a lot of texture. I've started knitting this and I think the repeats are quite memorizable. It's pretty natural the way that it's going, and I feel is really just a stunner of a pattern. Again, because it's a shawl, you've got a lot of different options that you could use various yarn weights. This one, he's calling for fingering at 22 stitches, so it's pretty loose, I would say, being knit on a bigger needle. I'm using, I think it's between like a DK, maybe Sport, and I haven't even gauged swatch because why would I need to? It's a shawl. That's the Texture and Twist Shawl by Robbie Lachlan. The next category I have are mittens. The mittens that I've chosen to feature in today's ultimate knit guide, a gift knit guide, is the Norwegian Mittens for Mimi. This is a free pattern of color work by Anna Mazzarella. It is just a stunner. She was inspired by, I think it was a sweater that she saw. Oh no, it was other mittens that she saw. So she made a pattern for this. There are charts. I did see this. So this I would classify as more of a Minds On knit. Still classifies as a small knit, like a little knit, but it is more Minds On because of course the charting that happens for all areas of the mitten. It's knit from the cuff up to the fingers, and just is that really traditional beautiful shape of the pointy top at the hand, the pointy thumb. I love that. Rounded ones they're not my favorite. I love the pointy like triangular option. And this is a DK weight that she's knit up her samples in. So we're looking at no gauge listed, actually. That's interesting, but I did download the pattern for free, so it's in there, and you can too. That's the Norwegian Mittens for Mimi by Anna Mazzarella. My next option for mittens is, again, interesting because he's new to me, so now I'm going down the rabbit hole. It's a design by Robbie Loughlin, the Simple Guernsey Mitts free pattern. This is a beautiful textured fingerless mitt with a little thumb, like the micro thumb, and is inspired by Guernsey sweaters that he's applied into the mitten pattern. There's 3 different size options there. They start at medium, so you'd have to go into the pattern and see what the width of the hand is to see if you can modify smaller if that's what's needed. And is a gorgeous pattern. You're looking at 20 stitches per 10 centimeters. These would be a quick knit. These could be a definite stash knit. You could use these as a scrappy project and maybe consider doing different bands of colors. I mean, sky's the limit. That's a Simple Guernsey Mitts by Robbie Loughlin. And of course, I have to add my favorite fingerless mittens that are up for a prize, of course, to begin and kick off our KAL. These are mittens designed by myself. The pattern, if you purchase or win, has 2 different yarn weight options. So it's all housed under one pattern. We have a worsted edition and a bulky. So if you're in a time crunch or need to, knit up a number of gift knits, the bulky edition could definitely be your friend. This is a mitten option that just allows the knitter to craft not only a simple minimal design, if that's what you're after, and I really enjoy these for gift knitting and I've given so many of these away, but you can do really different creative things. You can do embellishments, you can do nups on them, which I've done in some samples here. I've even checked out a tutorial for knit flowers, and I've added on silly little knit flowers. I mean, bossier knitting. These are favorite fingerless mittens by myself. Paid for pattern. Next up, I have socks, believe it or not. So for all you sock lovers out there, these are quicker options in my opinion for socks, even though I'm not a sock knitter myself. The first is a weekend shorty socks designed by Summerly Knits, I believe. She has provided this as a free pattern. They are shorty socks, meaning they don't have the full cuff that we normally see on a sock, and are beautiful. She's calling for a fingering weight yarn. No gauge on, oh yes there is, 40 stitches per 10 centimeters or 4 inches. And it looks like you can just have, it's like a scrappy treat of sock knitting. If you're a sock knitter, I highly recommend this pattern because it's gorgeous. I have never knit them because I'm not a fingering girl or sock knitter, but it looks like they've got, yes, a heel flapping gusset design, and super cute. So those are the Weekend Shorty Socks by Summerly Knits for free. My next sock pattern as well is free. This is the Color Palette Socks by Laura Moratz. This is a design using light fingering, but I think you could maybe push 2 fingering weight yarn, and is a beautiful color, like striped pattern. You're not just getting color stripes here along to use up your scraps or maybe a variety of sock yarn, but she's added in a little detail with, it looks like what's called twisted rib, a row of the same color in between each chunk or stripe, and I think it's just so cute. Again, it looks like it's a heel flapping gusset from the design that I'm seeing, and beautiful, beautiful option. Those are the Color Palette Socks by Laura Moratz. My last Celiana socks. It might be the Stella socks. This is designed by Nicole Enzinger. This is a paid for pattern. The reason why I chose this is it is a DK weight sock option. I feel DK weight socks are starting to come into fashion on Ravelry. They're not, you know, there's not tons of them from what I've seen, and this is a beautiful option. We have a little bit of texture work that's happening on the leg of the sock as well as the top of the foot, but on the bottom where we're walking is a stock net, which I think is perfect. It's a beautiful design. I love that it's DK, so this might tempt me to cast on one day. Yeah, I love the little just hint of texture with interest for this sock. So that is the Cala sock. There we are, by Nicole Enzinger, paid for pattern. My last classification of knits for this episode is other little knits. I could not classify these into the categories above, so these are kind of, you know, a surplus of different gift knits. I fell in love with these little guys. This is the chunky Ebu Pillow. This is designed by Heidi Bang and is a paid for pattern. She designs and knits up a variety of things. This is toys, pillows, and all like super cute, kid friendly, of course. They're beautiful little things to knit. I'm not a toy knitter, but I feel this could be the push that I would love to get into it. It's a minimal, super simple looking design of this little bear. You knit the body first in the round, and then you chuck on the little extras for the ears, the arms, and the feet. It's so cute. I would like to have this for me. I don't know if I can part with this if I knit this. It's so gorgeous. She's calling for a worsted weight here, but I think, of course, you can decide if you want to knit it tinier and bigger once you pay for the pattern. And yeah, it's just the sweetest little knit. That's the chunky Ebu Pillow by Heidi Bang. That's a great one. My next option for other little knits include the Stella Quilt Cushion by Laura Penrose, paid for pattern. This I have been intrigued. I've tried to tell myself, like, no, this isn't for me. It's a little country for me, but I do love it, and I really see myself knitting something quilty one day. I don't know if it would be a cushion, but I feel this wouldn't take heaps of time. I feel this could be obviously a great stash buster. People have talked about it. If you visited and are a fan of Laura Penrose, she has gone on end about it. It's a pattern that came out last year and people are loving it. I feel like it just allows for so much creativity to take place, and providing a gift of a pillow to somebody is so lovely. I feel the recipient, if you were to make a pillow, you'd really have to know their aesthetic and what they would enjoy putting out in their home, because I feel like this is quite a personal piece. I almost wonder, like, more than wearing, because they would display it in their house. So I feel I would really want to know if that person would be comfortable and enjoy something like this. Otherwise, I would gift it to somebody else. That is the Stella Quilt Cushion by Laura Penrose. The next up on the other little knits is a Soho Scrunchie by Tori Yu, free pattern. This is literally a really simple pattern that you can download for scrunchie. Anyone with long hair, there we go. I think they look cute on the wrist, obviously, as she's displaying. I really enjoy the fact that I'm trying to embrace the texture and curl in my hair, and the more poking around I do about hair and healthy hair, one of the suggestions is materials that you put near your hair, so pillowcase, scrunchie items, and one of the options I was thinking is a soft silk mohair option, and that way your hair would be really happy and break less. Just saying, as a little knit for yourself perhaps, or myself. That's the Soho Scrunchie by Tori Yu, cute gift option. And we have one more scrunchie just to compare, to give you another option as well, is the Buu Scrunchie by Camille K, free pattern. We have a similar-esque idea, but the finish on it is different. I actually, if I was to choose between the two scrunchie designs, just by the pictures, I think I would choose the Buu Scrunchie. It looks almost like, I haven't downloaded it yet, either a 3 needle bind off or a crochet chain stitch to close up the fabric over the elastic that's knit. I'm not sure if that's what's done, but it looks like it could be. And if I remember, were there different options of gauge? I can't tell quickly and I don't want to keep you forever, but I think as well with a scrunchie, you can knit as you wish and knit it as big as you want to. It could be a fun little gift knit or even a little item to add to another gift, like on the outside wrapping. If you'd be interested in doing that, I think it's such a cute option. That's the Buu Scrunchie by Camille K. That does it for our pattern curation of the Ultimate Gift Knits Guide. I hope you really enjoyed today. I hope you walk away with some new, perhaps designers, new patterns, knitting inspiration, and I hope that you join our Little Knits KAL. I'm really excited about it. If you would like to enter the giveaway, please just follow, subscribe, put a little comment below as to what pattern you'd like, and you will be entered into the giveaway for next week. So excited about it. I'm going to be casting on a bunch of little gift knits because this is where my heart is right now. I'm all about accessories. And yeah, thank you for joining me today. I do want to wish you great joy in your knitting, be it big or small knits. And until next time, take care. Happy knitting.